If you watched my last video, you'll have seen me using this fabric to make a gathered skirt. And if you know me well, you'll know that I absolutely hate to waste fabric. So I've been working out what I could do with a small piece of this viscose that was left over from that skirt project. And I landed on a pair of shorts using the Fifi pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. I didn't have enough fabric for the top, but I could definitely fit in the shorts. And as it's such a nice quick make, I thought I'd film the process for you. So I have made these shorts before and they do come out very short. So let me know in the comments if you've made them and you thought the same. But they are called a boudoir set on the pattern envelope, so that's probably why. So in anticipation of that, I lengthened the pattern this time by 2 inches. I literally just added 2 inches onto the hem of both pattern pieces, like you can see here. Then I placed them onto my leftover fabric piece, making sure that the grain line was aligned with the selved edges, and then drew around them and cut them out. And there are literally just 2 pattern pieces for these shorts, so it was perfect for the fabric that I had left over. So moving on to the construction now, so these shorts are sewn up with French seams, which makes them nice and neat on the inside. So the first step is to place each back short piece against its corresponding front shorts piece, wrong sides together, as I'm doing here, and pin the inside and outside legs together, matching the raw edges and the notches. We then need to take those to the sewing machine and sew those seams with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and then repeat that for the second leg. And once those 4 seams have been sewn, we need to trim the seam allowances down to about half of their width. So this means to about 1/8 of an inch. So it is quite fiddly, especially if you're using lightweight fabric. Then take them to the ironing board and press the seams open, and it helps to use the tip of your iron here. Now we need to flip each leg so that the wrong sides are facing outwards, and fold the seams that we've just sewn and pressed open so that they're now right sides together with the seam line exactly on the edge, and then press this in place. The next step is to sew the seam again, this time using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and this will enclose the raw edges of the fabric on the inside. We should end up with a neat little flap like this that we can then press to one side, and then the French seam is complete. And that needs to be done on all 4 seams, so 2 inside legs and the 2 outside legs too. Moving on now, we need to attach the 2 legs at the crotch seam, and this is sewn as a French seam too. Now, don't do what I did to start off with off camera and place them right sides together, as you'll need to unpick a very small seam, and trust me, that's not fun. I was obviously just on autopilot when I did that. So instead, we need to do what I'm doing here and keep one leg right sides out and turn the other one wrong sides out and slip that one inside the first one so that the wrong sides are facing. And then repeat the French seam process that I showed you earlier, which I'll put on the screen now as a reminder. And this is what it will look like when the crotch seam is sewn correctly with a French seam. Firstly from the wrong side and then from the right side. Now that the two legs are joined, we can add in our elastic waistband. There is a calculation within the instructions for working out the length of your elastic, but I prefer just to measure it on my own body. So I cut my elastic to size and then joined the two ends with a little square or rectangle of stitches. To attach the elastic to the shorts, you need to quarter it. So as I'm doing here, fold it in half and put a pin in each end. Then bring those two pins together and mark the other two ends, giving you 4 quarters. The shorts are already quartered by the two side seams and the top of the crotch seam on the front and the back. So all you need to do now is match your 4 pins on the elastic to those 4 points. And that's what I'm doing here. At the sewing machine, we need to use a zigzag stitch, and starting at one pin, place the needle down in your elastic, and I find it easiest to hold the elastic both from behind the needle and at the point of your next pin, and stretch it as you sew so that it matches the length of the fabric that you're attaching it to. Once you reach the next pin, take it out and repeat that process until you've sewn all 4 quadrants. And then it should look something like this. The next step is to fold the elastic over onto itself to the wrong side twice, so that it's enclosed within the fabric. So pin it in place and then stitch it again with a straight stitch, stretching as you sew, taking each quarter in turn like you did with the last step. And now on to the final step, which is to hem the shorts. So at the ironing board, I pressed over 1/4 of an inch to the wrong side and then another 3/8 of an inch. And then I sewed that into place. And the shorts are done. And this is what they look like for the outside, and then the inside with the nice French seams. And here's a very quick little mirror selfie to show them on. So I'm really pleased with how they turned out, and I'm really satisfied that I was able to use up that piece of leftover fabric. There is in fact actually a very small bit left over still, which I'll probably end up using as some test material for some of my sewing lessons at some point, or even as a cleaning cloth, because as I said at the start of the video, I really can't bear to waste fabric pieces however small. Let me know in the comments if you're like that too. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please do consider giving it a like, a share, or subscribing to my channel so that more beginner sewers can find me. Until next time, happy sewing!